Were you scared a little bit when you decide to go fully into entrepreneurship? Because I know you mentioned like you come from a bloodline, your family does that, but to transition to being an NFL player to running your own business, what did that transition look like? Why did you decide to be like, you know what, no more NFL, let me go start my own thing?
Yeah. So I had to understand that failure, I had to get a return on investment off my failure,
Hmm.
period. The failure of going into the NFL and performing at a level that not a lot of people do,
Yeah.
being consistent, playing in that game, you realize that one, it taught me a lot of things that I didn't realize was already equipping me for my transition.
Mm.
Once you now get into the space where I was, where I'm performing at a high level, I've got a contract renewal coming up. The team's looking at me like, wow, you came through the cracks. I wasn't drafted.
Yeah.
You worked your way, you've earned this.
AJ, welcome to Legacy Talks. A lot of persons who listen to the podcast is mainly entrepreneurs or who are building a legacy. And I just thought it would be amazing to bring you on because you're doing amazing things here in Tampa Bay. So I'm like, let's just have a conversation. We talk all the time, run in different circles, all that good stuff. So I'm like, you know what? Before I introduce you, like, who's TJ? Like, who's TJ? I always butcher your last name too. So let's give the audience pronounce that for the audience,
Yeah,
please.
so my name is Tunji Fatinikun. So Fatinikun, just as it looks, Fatinikun, Fatinikun. Born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria, and I've been in America since I was about 11 years old, and just a very fortunate place to be. You can name it, right? The beauty of opportunities in this land of America, and the opportunities of just having people that want the best for themselves as well, having the structure to be able to actually go about getting the best of what you want. I think that's something where we come from, misses, free for all. All. And as positive as that may be in one scope, it also is very diminishing in the big scope, right? In the connectivity and in the long term sustainable success. But I'm so grateful to be able to sit with you, Kalisha. You're awesome. You're doing great things as well, and so it's always beautiful to have opportunities to connect with you and like-minded people as well.
And I think one of the things that I wanted to do was just truly bring on like more black and brown business owners as well. I think a lot of time for us as immigrants, we're like, okay, it's you see the story and it's amazing, but everyone's starting point is completely different. And we're like, well, for me, rather, I love the fact that I could see someone who looked like me doing amazing things. So I'm like, why not create a platform for other persons to share their story as well and be an inspiration to somebody? But like, yes, you're an entrepreneur, but like, how did you like really get into that space? And you can talk about your business, even if you had a business before that. Like, tell us, how did you transition into being like, you're like, I want to own my own business? Like,
Yeah,
let's talk to me about that.
I think there's definitely being a former athlete, at a high level and being in the NFL, and
Wait, you were an athlete? What? He's like, being a former athlete, yada, yada, yada. Come on, give us some backstory there.
well, coming from, like I said, when we landed in America, my immediate older brother was always already an athlete playing football, and it was one of those things that he was here in the States actually, with my mom and dad as they laid the land before the rest of the family came,
Yeah.
and I was able to always see him, playing football and having the trophies, and like, my goodness, once I get to America, I'm going to do exactly what my brother does, and that was exactly my whole start of football.
Hmm.
Being able to come in, and I come from a big family, from a family of nine total, but mom and dad included. Six brothers, one sister. So if you was in my household as the only sister, you would have you could imagine, right?
Oh my gosh.
And being in that household, it was one of those things that we were very big on, just maximizing who you are as a person. I come from great parents. I'm so fortunate to have my father and my mother, and being able to have been put in position to where what you have inside of you and that gift that's inside of you has to be on display. And there's a way to go about getting that, and very grounded. And for us, our grounded identity is rooted in God and Christ. And having that foundation allows for us to know that we're created from a source of eternal and unbelievable things.
Yeah.
And it's a mental approach when it comes to my faith, and being able to replicate that goodness in others' lives, in my own personal, goals and ambition, I think has always been what has steered me to be very also competitive, right? Because it's you versus you.
You.
And so I come from a household where there were a lot of us, but it was also very much like, you're your own identity, and that freedom that you don't get from most African parents, right?
And like, this is what I want for you. This is where you should go. So the fact that
Yeah,
you had that is it's amazing.
yeah, yep. And I think that, I know that that started the journey for my entire household. I've got a family of entrepreneurs, including my father himself, my mother. We all have business, we all are doing things. And so for
It's in
that
your bloodline.
freedom, yes, it's in my bloodline. And that freedom being, medical world in my pops' space, still not being, hey, you need to go to school to be a doctor. You need to go to school to go do this. Like, okay, you want to be an athlete, you want to play football, no matter what, wherever you put your foot in, if you're a star, you're going to shine. It doesn't matter if you're shining in Ohio, how we
Mm,
end up in school, or if you're in Hawaii, wherever you land, if you're a star and you shine, you're going to shine. That's just
I love that.
those things that, we were always taught and brought up in. And so I credit, honestly, a lot of my ambition and my drive of business, and going through having a lot of resilience and going through
Hmm.
injuries. I mean, my story is, we can speak all day, Kalisha, and I don't like it's a simple thing.
So no, tell us something though, because you said resilience, and I think we hear that word a lot. It's a tough thing. And some people, yes, yes, I want to have resilience, but I think going through it is like one of the toughest things ever. And it teaches you a lot about you, like things that you didn't think you were capable of. But like when you said you went through resilience and all that stuff, what do you mean? Like what, give us an example there.
Yeah, the first day I jumped off the plane in New York, right? You have your shoes off in the plane for a 12, 13-hour flight. You can't put your shoes back on. It's like,
You're
what is
like, I'm here, let's go.
I'm in America, I can't even wear the shoes,
My gosh,
right?
no.
There's just so many things that when you think of resilience, I think it's honestly the ability to understand that you have to be comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
being comfortable with being uncomfortable, coming in, two-bedroom house, apartment, nine of us, knowing that there's a goal and a mission here for you to be in America, having to find your uniqueness and your identity, and also being in a place as Philly where it was very jungle mindset, tough, gritty, right? Like that was where we were. And so
Yeah.
I think for sure your environment shapes you in many, many ways. And I also believe that your exposure, and that exposure in general, is an undervalued currency. And when you have that exposure, it allows for you to build that resilience. It allows for you to build that grit. And I'm in a space where I love to learn. Curiosity makes you resilient,
Yeah.
right? Curiosity makes you resilient because you can be comfortable without pushing the issue, or you might know what you know and you're okay with that. But that doesn't stretch you,
Yeah.
right? And having some aspiration, plus, of course, the motivation and the intrinsic motivation, right? It provides a place where you're looking. It's like there's never an arrival point, and so when there's never an arrival point, you're constantly being stretched. So therefore, you have to be resilient, right? I think having conversations, being around most successful and a lot of successful people, is there's really no arrival point. and
Hmm.
that understanding of knowing that in that journey, because it's like once you do one hard thing, uh, Do
Yes.
another thing.
What's next?
It's not like I do a hard thing and then I'm like, oh, I'm okay now. That was just crazy. I don't ever want to see it again.
Yeah.
Others, you might go, wow, that was really intense.
Yeah.
But then the next thing is you've now built this surface area within you
Hmm.
that grit, that resilience, that tenacity, those things just pretty much come into this one fold, and that next hard thing is like another thing to go for.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Would you say, like, did you have were you scared a little bit when you decide to go fully into entrepreneurship? Because I know you mentioned like you come from a bloodline, your family does that. But to transition to being an NFL player to running your own business, what did that transition look like? Why did you decide to be like, you know what, no more NFL, let me go start my own thing?
Yeah. So I had to understand that failure, I had to get a return on investment off my failure.
Hmm.
Period. The failure of going into the NFL and performing at a level that not a lot of people do,
Yeah.
being consistent, playing in that game, you realize that one, it taught me a lot of things that I didn't realize was already equipping me for my transition.
Mm,
Once you now get into the space where I was, where I'm performing at a high level, I've got a contract renewal coming up. The team's looking at me like, wow, you came through the cracks. I wasn't drafted.
yeah.
You worked your way, you've earned this. And that has a different level of respect. And so I'm now on the verge of actually coming into my own and having a home base truly in the NFL. And I tear my ACL. Then next thing you know, I tear my shoulder, right? Then I get hurt, and it's now you're faced with the music,
Hmm.
already coming off of injuries in the past, going through college 4 years. I went through 4 years of school, did the whole nine prior to. I graduated early in college just to get myself prepared to go to go to the NFL. Like there was a lot of things that, of course, in these small minute habits that you have to create and give yourself a chance. But then at that end there, 2017 going to 2018, right? It was, whoa, I started the business already in that kind of last year, wanting to have my own team, wanting to be able to pour into people. I was always doing youth camps. I think, the beauty of everything that I've learned in my life is the ability to know that a blessing doesn't stop at you, it got to go through you. And I think that family that I have was one of those things that it wasn't, yeah, we're all individuals, but my goodness, you're a unit. There's a brotherhood here. There's family here. There's your best is your brother's or your sister's best. Your weakest link is your sister's or your brother's weakest link. So how do we make sure that we are always flatline and only going up, right? And I always wanted my own team. I just wanted my own team. I wanted people that I can pour into, people I can see have a baseline of understanding of who they are, but never really tapped into their fullest potential. And so I looked at our industry, right? And our goal is really simple for what we do, right? And aside of the cars, because the cars was a byproduct of what the impact I wanted to make in the business, right? The cars was a way of, it could be an entry, it can be a chance to have a ground and talk to people and develop people and commune with people. But man, there's so much structure that is missing on the backspace in the back end of this industry.
Yeah.
These are people filled with passion, just like I was when I played in the NFL. I mean, I would run through the wall.
So your team was like you just saying, I have a team, I want a team.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter how, because what you're saying doesn't matter where that team looks like. You just knew you wanted to lead a team to pour into that.
absolutely. I knew we can get people. I trusted this at a very almost to others discouraging rate because it was one of those things like you'll never get people to work for you.
Hmm.
People don't ever want to work. People
Yeah.
never want to do it. How do you think you're going to get people to do what you're asking them to do? And it was around that time where we trademarked detailing with integrity.
Yeah.
And at that time, that was when a lot of folks would see that industry in this space as those guys will never show up on time. They'll never do what you ask. They're going to steal out the cars. They're going to try to sell you something you don't need. A dark cloud over passionate people.
Hmm.
So the leadership was wrong,
Yeah.
right? There was no structure. There was no way of how do I curate a space for people to feel actually appreciated, cared for, heard, and also challenged,
Mm-hmm.
be better.
And to raise the standard too.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And, it was tough because you come from a space in the NFL where everybody's running full speed every play.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's doing the extra inch every minute. And if you're not, you're out of there. You're gone. There's no need for you here because everybody else is going to do it. And so now I'm in this mentality point, having to come into this industry where it wasn't that.
Yeah.
So it was
It-
a challenge. But the beauty of entrepreneurship, I think, is there's a vision behind it all. There's a way to go about it.
yeah.
How hard can you challenge yourself to actually see that vision come to life? So therefore, the work turned for me. It had to become me working on myself and me believing in what I have and how I want to operate and how I truly, genuinely have to lead people. Once it became knowing who you are and developing who you are,
Yeah.
that will always be duplicated and replicated to help others.
This is, I think, and it's very rare because you got into the business knowing your purpose and what you wanted to do. So
Yeah,
you were very clear on your why. So whatever avenue or that vehicle looks like, your why was very clear from it. And also with you knowing what your why is, which is to lead a team and to pour into people, you also realize within yourself that, okay, in order for me to be my best self and to always keep learning, I also have to pour into myself. I have to acknowledge some of my strengths and my weaknesses and where the opportunities for me to grow so I can lead this team, which will now turn into you leading your business and everyone else in it. It's like everything plays a crucial role with that. So, with you leading your team, I guess this is where now I want you to talk about the business,
yeah,
right? You lead the team, and of course, you set the standard with your team, which of the expectations as well. But now, how does all of that plays a crucial role in your business, and what is your business do? Because you
right.
mentioned a little bit with the car
Yeah,
part.
yeah. So at TFAT's Auto Spot, right? Our goal is extremely simple. We protect automotive assets while delivering an elevated experience, right? That reflects how people should feel when they
Mhm.
invest in themselves,
Yeah.
right? It's beyond just the car for us. And I think that's really, we're in a space where we, of course, specialize in paint protection films. We
Mhm.
specialize in ceramic coatings. We specialize in window tint for UV control,
Mhm.
right? And I look at the scope of services that we perform. That we're building something bigger than that, but we're creating a standard of care, right?
Okay.
We're creating a standard of passion. We're creating a standard of hospitality that extends into how people live,
Yeah.
right? Not just what you drive,
Mhm.
because that stems from my whole reason of why I'm in business.
Yeah. Because everyone, like, the thing is, like, I think we'll all just focus on the car,
Yeah,
but it's also you're adding that extra thing of where someone could be like, you know what, yes, I go there for my car, but I get these added stuff where I don't get anywhere else. And for me, that is very important.
absolutely, Kalisha. And I mean, it's the long term vision, right? Is building a brand that stands for excellence, that stands for discipline, and importantly, intentional growth,
Hmm.
right? Because I think transaction is just not
No,
fruitful,
no, I
right?
say it all the time.
It's not fruitful. It's a quick feel, and our creator is not a transactional person. It's not, oh, you did good today, you didn't sin, you didn't beat nobody up today, or what, here, let me give you another piece of nugget to get you to the next level. It doesn't move that way. Life doesn't work that way. Therefore, what we spend all of our time in, and personally for me, all I do is my business and like my family. Like, I love what I do. So therefore, I have to be as intentional as I can ever be in any other space,
Hmm.
right? So there's really no differentiator, right, when it comes to that execution and to that process. And it's one thing that I, intentionally and purpose, I always tell our team is that, guys, the way we do one thing is the way we do everything.
Hmm. No shortcuts.
There's no shortcuts behind this. You know what I mean? You can't act like you care about what you're doing and expect a great result. You can't act like you care about your spouse and expect a great marriage. It's just not going to happen. And therefore, the way our mindset is set up is that we're built in shaping our systems, we're built in shaping this industry, and we're built in leaving something that will be
There
legacy.
forever. Yeah. You see what he just said? He's like, legacy.
Right? I mean, that's over here, right? Like, seriously.
That is the whole name. No, it's and the thing is too is like what I love everything that you just said about like being intentional because what I've learned in business is that you can have your service, but at the end of the day, people keeps coming back because of you, the individual, and how you treat them, whatever the service that they're offering or the product. But it goes back to how do you treat me when I give you my business? What and that is what makes you different. Yes, you have different things with the services, yada yada yada, but do you treat me good? Like I'm a strong believer. Like I'll pay premium to be treated good, right?
That's
It's
the
it's
reason.
convenience. It's
That's why you go. That's why you go to the Waldorf. That's why you go to the St. Regis's. That's why you go to these places and buy these condos and stay in these places because of the experience that it gives you. There's an emotional understanding behind
Mhm.
your dollar. And if you worked hard for your dollar, you had a lot of emotion to get that dollar. So to spend the dollar, I'm going to spend it where it feels good. There's no other way around it.
that is like it is so true. My God, like I'm listening to you, and I was like, sometimes I overspend on certain things, and people are like, "Oh, why would you do that?" And I'm like, because of X. This is my experience when I go here versus when I go here. And every time I listen to that voice and do the complete opposite, I'm like, I should have followed my mind.
So it's a real thing. It's a
Listen,
real thing. It's a
like,
real thing.
no, no. So T Fat Auto Spa. Am I
Yep,
saying
T
that
fats.
correctly? T
T F
Fat.
Yep, T fats. T dash FAT apostrophe S.
And you're only in Tampa.
We're only in Tampa in the moment. Yes.
I love, you know what? I love that you add at the moment.
Yes.
That is good.
Yes.
Like, because it can be global, it can be international, it could be
Absolutely.
regional, all those things, right? So, apart from you running that business, like as an entrepreneur, as an individual, like what are you staying to? What are you doing to stay grounded or to be the best version of you so you can lead your team?
Absolutely. I mean, I appreciate that question because honestly, like you have to be the grounded identity for me. Like we started and I stated was having my belief in Christ and the Lord, right? And there's a framework, and I have a not for profit called the Gifted Legacy Group. And Gifted Legacy Group is a habit and youth development and leadership systems
Mhm.
that allows for us to embrace these acronyms of that letter and that word, sorry, of that word, gifted. And that's, God is number one, which is the G part, but that's the grounded identity. Not everyone has to be a believer, but we want you to be. But if you're not, there's an identity inside of you that we have to get you grounded and get you absorbed into understanding your gift and who you are. And so for me, when I'm interacting with the youth or with my team, this is the same framework that we use. It's the gifted framework. Once we have our grounded identity and our moral compass, we share passion. If we're working together, we're sharing the same passion. If we're, wanting to be better, we're sharing passion for the things that we want to be inside of our hearts, right? That internal voice, there's an identity in that voice. And once you understand that uniqueness early, because that was the first thing I had to face when coming to the States, was that no, you're not from here
Yeah.
in Philly. You're getting tempted left, right, center, being poked at, right? And now I'm choosing to be the class clown, or I'm choosing to play around after school when I'm not supposed to, because guess what? I didn't understand the grounding in my identity.
Yeah.
I didn't understand my source, myself. So once we get that G part correct and know what we're here to do and having an understanding and awareness about who we are, we can now get intelligent, which is
Yeah.
the I,
Okay.
right? So now we get intelligent. Is it emotional intelligence? Is it, of course, wisdom and getting smart and understanding what your gift is and how to make sure that I'm moving in alignment with this moral compass that I just discovered. And once those two parts come together, you give yourself a chance because everyone, mainly for gifted, it's for young men in the inner city, right? Young boys, and we want to make money. So
Yeah.
it's like, I want to make money, I want to be here. Right. So, okay, well, we need to first get you grounded. We need to first get you intelligent, emotionally, get you physically aware, all of these things. And then let's teach you the financial literacy part. Right. And so that's the F, and that's the financial literacy, the financial understanding, the financial discipline, understanding what it takes to make money the right way,
Yeah.
right? To be cheating people, not to burn bridges, to be honorable, right? There's so much factors from the biblical days all the way up until now in 2026, where there's a million ways to make money, right?
Hmm.
There's what are the grounded pieces of information that one needs to have when it comes to making this money, and from there, you may be making some money, but you're gonna have to keep this thing coming. So that's where tenacity comes into play, right? That's where
Yeah.
your compass has to be in alignment. So that's GIFT right there. You have your tenacity, your understanding, you got your gift, you got a little bit of change, you got some wisdom you're picking up on, you're learning, you're surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded, right?
Hmm.
Now you're putting yourself in position to execute. And
Yeah.
that's the key part. So what does it take for us to execute? What does it mean to execute? How do you do so? Not over a short-term motivation and a quick light bulb spark, and now you juiced up and ready to run and charge the world and burn out. But what are the things that keeps me in my best space to execute? And if I can do GIFTE, you can count on me to be who I say I am. You can count on me to be dependable. And that's the D part, is that how do we create you to be as dependable of a person as you can ever be? That your family looks at you and say, man, I just love you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for not succumbing to the way of things that is not supposed to be. Thank you for being there for me,
Hmm.
for being a good friend,
Yeah.
right? Creating this, like when you have people can vouch for you and they can think of you in that right way, that is a social capital that you can't erase.
Yeah. And you can't get it anywhere else. You can't buy it.
Buy it.
You can't buy it.
You can have that by executing all those things prior to with the best intent. And that framework for me, honestly, is how I run my life. It's how I run my business. It's how I run the not for profit. It's really just setting a strong tone.
Yeah.
That means being very present with my team. That means having a high standard with that, and making sure that every client interaction reflects
That.
I care. I care about everything we're doing. Like there's no you get me, there's no fluff in between. And it's very simple to be able to understand that this is me. I'm not sitting here. This is right. And so this is not a transaction.
This is all I get. This is me right here. If you
It's
see everything that I'm saying, this is me. If you meet me in person.
this is me. And therefore, if our team and our culture can embrace that, and if the youth can embrace that, Kalisha, I think we'll make a better world on a daily basis because you start to realize that that goodness that you're exhibiting, that goodness that you're striving and working for, that catches fire faster and duplicates
Yeah.
much, much faster.
Yes.
And that circulation provides a space where people can exhibit and feel the goodness of things in this world.
And it makes them want to be better.
That's it.
So this sounds amazing. And
Thank you.
someone might be looking, listening, or watching, whatever it is, and think, okay, all right, he sounds like he has it all figured out.
Yeah.
And I think I saw a post. I don't know if you follow Cody Sanchez, and she had like this crazy doll and with crazy hair and beat up, and it was like this is me. So with someone told me to go start a business, this is me trying to run the business, and I was like, yep, that is what entrepreneurship look like, out in fires. And it could sound like everything is perfect, but would you say you've had days or moments where you question, is this for me? Should I keep going? And if you have, what do you do to get out of that sting to go back on purpose?
Absolutely. It's funny. A part of me do believe I have it figured out, right? But timing and life and not being a creator
Yeah.
is something I'm not. So as much as I'm like, that's got to be the way. As much as I'm so bound in belief, and there's still equally amount of things that is not in my control.
Yeah. Facts.
And I am completely fine with understanding that I don't have control over everything. And I think to be able to have that understanding of that I can't control everything outside of the things that I can control, because what we speaking on, what we spoke on are things that you can control. Control how you think. You can control your behaviors and your habits, right? It's not there's discipline. And I asked some successful people I've been around, I said, what is it that, you would say you grabbed a hold on to early on in your career in your life before anybody or before anything that catapulted you? And the one, like my number one poll answer is straight up discipline.
Oh, hard to come by, easy to lose.
You know what I mean? Like it takes so long for people and for us, man, to really absorb and be like, okay, I need to latch on to discipline. And I take that discipline in so many ways because obviously, as a believer too, in the biblical ways, it talks about a child. A father is going to discipline you in the way that you should go. And so, in these trials, in these times of my goodness, am I losing it? Am I going to lose it all? Is it going to the fear of that is something that's not of the promise.
Yeah.
Fear and the promise don't commingle. Neither
Mm,
wishy-washy doesn't commingle.
mm.
So even if I fail and I fail forward and I fail with understanding that I'm got a return on investment coming because I stood through the trial of discipline, I'm gonna get a return off my failure, no way, one way, shape, or form. So it keeps you in this space where it's aligned my mind with the trust that I controlled everything that I can control to give myself the best output, but understanding that there's a lever of uncontrollability, but how aligned am I in my positioning with that uncontrollable force? So that way I can bounce back, I can ricochet the next morning. There's days I literally will go take a walk in the afternoon and I'm like questioning myself, right? And sure enough, you would find a way at 6 p.m. that evening to have some level of energy back in your boots, right? Like, where did that come from? Besides the fact that you understand you're doing your best,
Yeah.
things you can control.
Yeah.
So I think the more that we understand the power of what we control and how intentful we have to be with our discipline and how intentful we have to be with our actions, and it's not a motivation.
Yeah.
It's a fiber that has to really be worked on over time. Now,
Yes.
mind you,
Yes.
mind
Yes.
you don't wake up and just absorbly become this
Hmm.
thing because it's not real. This is an experiences of failure, of setbacks, right? Of no's. Oh my gosh.
Being
How
intentional.
many no's do
Yeah.
you receive verbally and unverbally, right? Like there's no's that we receive that it's not, oh, that somebody's gonna tell you no, no, no. It's just literally like not happening.
No.
You don't even got to say a word. You just know, right? And so it's like, what do? You got to stay very aligned and have a lot of humility. And I really mean that. I think that humility is the factor of knowing that success and failure, they run parallel. If you have too much of that and you don't hold on to no failure and you think you're kicking it and you're rocking it, get your own serving of that humility of failure. If you have too much, if you put failure ahead of you and think, oh my goodness, I don't have it figured out, I don't have it known, and you put all these bad voices into your mind, you're never going to give yourself a chance to be able to run up the ladder of success. So they've got to run in accordance to be able to understand. I've got to keep enough humility, but I've got to keep enough. I got to keep enough striving. I've got to keep not even striving. I just have to keep enough in my tank of understanding to
Yeah.
keep me moving forward. And tomorrow will be a better day. And it may not be a better day tomorrow though, Kalisha. And I've had multiple days that ain't a better day. It's really it's not easy,
Yeah.
right? But I think we just have to hold on to the belt of truth, truly,
God.
right?
Everything that you said, I can relate to it because I think the deeper I get in my business, the more I grow. I have to go back to self. And I have to go back to self. I have to find back my center. I have to become consciously aware of my thoughts, my
Yes.
words. What
Yeah.
do I do when I have those negative thoughts or those voices in your head? What do I replace it with? Simple as that you mentioned, like you could be having a bad day and you go for a walk and then boom, 6 o'clock. That has happened to me so many times because a lot of times we think that we need to solve the problem now, 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 not yes, time is of the essence, but sometimes you just need a little break.
That's the uncontrollable part. You've done you the solving part is where you're like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, like I've literally have been in a lot of muck, right? When it comes to trying to control and solve it and get it and go against the grain and push it. Come on now. I played a sport where that was all you needed was how hard and how fast and how strong I'm going to be every second of this play, every second of practice, and then come out to life, and life don't move like that, buddy. Life doesn't move like that. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I see people in spaces now that are having a hard time, I'm just like, I'm only speaking of my experience, and I'm sorry if it sounds like this, but I really want to, I think of compassion as this, right?
You gotta have compassion.
But compassion to me has three levels, right? Like I'm gonna be compassionate with someone that's like, dang, I can't, I'm having this. It's okay. I'm gonna empathize with you,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I'm gonna empathize with you. But you notice when somebody empathizes with you too long and too hard, they kind of leave you in the dang on dark.
Are you like,
You know what I'm saying? Like you empathize with me so hard that you literally don't give me no kind of like actual, oh my goodness.
yes.
So no, I empathize with one, right? But then once we empathize, we got to stabilize right away, right? So I got to be able to break you up. I got to be able to point at you, not no fluff, unreal, you know what I mean? Not realistic, type of, hey, you're awesome, you're good. No, hey, look at you hitting this wall now
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact you've expensed so much of what you believed was right. People make mistakes off of literally believing that they did what was right. I
Mm-hmm.
see more of that than people who make mistakes, knowing that they just didn't know that they just purposely did wrong. You don't
Hmm.
see a lot. Not in our spaces, I don't believe.
Yeah. No.
And as an entrepreneur, you're moving at what you truly believe is right.
Yeah.
And
You don't know
I
if it
mean,
will work out, but you're hoping for the best.
you're hoping for the best.
Yeah.
So how can we stabilize one another? And then once we stabilize, after having empathy, we got to strategize together.
Yeah.
I gotta get you understanding. Boom. All right. So what is it? Is it a resource? Is it someone in my Rolodex that we can contact? Is it somewhere to give you some kind of conversation that you might need? Right. And we have to look at that compassion as a bucket of actions, not
Yeah.
just sitting with one in their demise of, am I gonna give up? Am I gonna quit? Is it not good? This is challenging. I'm so grateful for the people in my life. You as well. Like seriously, I say I am a body. I literally say I'm a sum of all the people
That you.
that I've
Yeah.
ever had a chance to interact with and be inspired by, directly, indirectly, energy wise. You have an energy. Everyone's got this energy ball that influences you in their presence and outside of their presence. So I take those things very, I take that thing pretty serious, right? For me, it's like, man, we can achieve, we can be great, you can be great. There's more to it than just what I might be going through in my troubles, right? There's more to it than what you might be going through in your troubles. But let's come to one accord of understanding that the best is always yet to come.
Gosh. I am a person that used to worry about the future. Everything figured out to the T. Oh no. I'm like, God, give me the resources that I need for today. With anywhere for tomorrow. When tomorrow comes, I will deal with tomorrow. Give me the stuff that I need for today, whether the people, the resources, the doubt, whatever it is, today.
Facts, yo.
I'm not worrying about the next 3 months, the next 6 months. If, as you said, there are certain things that you cannot control.
Yeah, there's
If I
certain
know
things.
deep down that I'm doing everything possible from my end, I'm giving it my all. I'm trying. I'm being intentional. I'm okay with that.
Right,
If
right.
it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it's not supposed to, or I'm supposed to learn from it.
Absolutely. And that's where I say you get a return on investment on every lesson.
Yeah.
There's, I've never got stumped out and think, dang, I didn't learn anything from that.
Hmm. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So it's like You could challenge yourself. If you couldn't fail at anything, if they say you couldn't fail at anything, would you still go after what you went toward?
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Because you have to. You have to fail. I think that was the thing too when it comes on to failure, but it goes back to it's like your perspective with growth. Now it's like when things aren't going how I wanted to, and I tell people this sometimes too when they're talking to me about their issues. I'm like, that's it sucks. Like, don't get me wrong, it sucks. But now ask yourself, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this? Who am I supposed to become? So I find myself going during those times, I'm like, all right, Kalisha, where are you supposed to become? All right, I would look up to the sky. I was like, all right, God, what are you trying to teach me? If I'm not seeing it, make it a little bit more clearer. Who am I supposed to become? What skills am I supposed to develop? It's like, again, I'm reframing my thought process. And it's like, oh, what can go wrong? And this, what else can go wrong? So again, being mindful of the words that I'm using, because that is like so crucial. But the little walk, those
Man,
listen,
they changed the game, huh?
a little walk from the screen, from the phone, disconnect, be like, yep, I need a break. I need some fresh air. Because sometimes, a lot of times, that's all you need.
Yeah, and I got a challenge for your listeners and people, right?
Mhm.
Because I think in that same little walk to go exhale, which is really what it is for me. I just want to go exhale. Think about how you can give back and find a place to just pour into people that don't even look anything like you or have anything going on like you, and just that don't even have a mindset inch of where you're at, because it actually kind of will remove you
Yes.
from what you're all just bent up about.
Yeah.
And there's a slight selfish gratification when you do something for others. As big as that thing is to them, you feel good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not necessarily I feel good and I'm going to post it or I'm going to be this. No, please don't. Don't do that. Take the minute to actually enjoy
Be
that.
present.
I'm able to do for, like, as much as I'm in trouble with, I don't know if payroll is going to be hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but can I? Is it a phone call to a friend? Is it a phone call to someone that honestly they asked me for my assistance before, and I might be not be in the space to. I might think I'm not in the space to be able to pour into someone, but the minute you just go outside of that framework of just that self, it
Yeah.
really can alleviate that pressure of that day. It can alleviate that pressure of self doubt. Because just right there, that person is so appreciative of your phone call. That person is so appreciative of your words, of your gift, of whatever it may be on your heart to do for someone,
Mm-hmm.
that it just made some sense of value again back inside of you.
I love volunteering. And last week through my church, we had to do all week from like, I think Wednesday to Saturday. It's just so many different projects happening at once. And I had I was able to go to like different shelters where persons were getting food. And sometimes I get lost in the bubble of our space that we're in, and as you said, our issues, and then you meet somebody and you see how grateful for they are for the little that they have, and you're like, I'm over here complaining and you're worse off than I am. And you have so much gratitude for the simple things that we take for granted. It's just so humbling. And it also makes you be like, either if you were off track on your purpose, let me get back on
Yeah,
track with my purpose. Let
yeah,
me also find another way to get out of my bubble because, again, let me step outside of self because it's more than me. And then also, a lot of times in those moments is when you get those aha moment, that light bulb moment that helps you to fix something within your business that you can, or an issue that you've had. And you're like, whoa, I just have an idea. Just figured it out.
right. It's a real thing. It's like my old man would say, one tree doesn't grow a forest,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
One tree doesn't grow a forest, and you want to magnify your business, you want to magnify things, you want to do all these things. I mean, you're the only one.
The other one.
How you gonna magnify all these things if you're not looking at avenues and ways to pour and to give back and to share and to be in tune with others, right? And to be able to be that person, you do have to work on yourself. And I think that's the truest beauty, man, that I think entrepreneur has taught me though, Kalisha, is like you really got to be able to stand yourself. You really have to be able to stand when you're upset. You have to really be able to stand when you're sad. You really have to be able to stand when you're happy. You have to know how to stand yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Understand there's a point of that to where now it becomes more than yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
juggling that to make greater than yourself.
Oh my God.
So it's like it's a real thing and it's a beautiful thing, and I thank God for entrepreneurship. But buddy, I tell you, when it's crazy out there,
It's
it's
crazy. It's so weird too because like you can have really good weeks or months, or you can have a good day today, a bad day tomorrow, a good half day, a bad day half day, but it all goes back into perspective and like
absolutely,
evaluating to be like, okay, how was I a better either leader today to my team? How was I a better individual, a better friend, a better partner, whatever that is? And I even one of the biggest thing that I've learned in this space, because I can get so consumed with just work, 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 is also did I spend time to pour into me, right? Not to be a better leader, but like just to be a better self,
absolutely.
And then did I also take time to pour into friends, the people who support me,
Families,
because families, because we
seriously,
can get lost in that just so our business all the time, 24/7, 365, that we forget everybody else. And we
absolutely.
need that sometimes too.
Absolutely, and you do need those spaces sometimes, and I think that's where the honor of people that can see you and they can respect you and they can believe in you kind of allows for that space of isolation to feel balanced because it's just hard to find and have the consistent balance. And so, how can those around you support you in those phases? And over time, you start to realize that yes, the more I'm able to navigate what I'm dealing with, the more I'm able to show up for those people. And the more while I show up for them, the more they actually respect and value, right, that isolation and that build and that time and that thing that takes to be able to generate at the level that you do. So it's just all about, I think, finding the way that the measurements work for oneself, right? Because we're all so different, we're all so unique, but stick to the core principles of life, right? And really understand that this thing's gonna stretch us. There's no doubt about it. It's like someone sitting in a profession that's not an entrepreneur. You're gonna get stretched one way, shape, or form. But what's our reaction to everything? And I think our reaction is what allows for us to have the perspective, like you mentioned.
What do you think that you are, because with your business right now, how you're building, like how are you structuring the business, or what are other ventures are you doing so it lasts
Yeah,
beyond you?
absolutely. No, I think for us it's commercial real estate. I'm showing Gandhi and super
Listen,
excited.
guys, this is why it's good to know that you're people in your network logos and branding and all that stuff. Cause I'm driving by and I was like, that name and logo looks so familiar. I was like, wait, that's you. I shoot him a text, not a text, yeah, a text message with a picture. You? He's like, yeah. I was like, damn. And just happy because it's such a joy, or such an amazing feeling to know that someone that you know as well who is doing great things, amazing things, and it's just like it's just amazing, man. So I'm very happy that when I saw that logo, I'm like, bam, because it's been sitting. So congrats on that new venture, by the way. Go
Thank
back
you.
to your answer too. I had to say that.
Thank you. I genuinely appreciate that. The goal for us is to be able to find a way, of course, to keep integrating and leveraging and duplicating the goodness and the things that we do as a business, but also in the impact that we have in the community.
Yeah.
With that location, it'll give us a chance to, yes, be our flagship location, but also part of our youth development. I partner with Big Brothers Big Sisters, Think Big for Kids, YMCA. We do a lot of stuff in the youth side. We do summer skills programs, summer youth programs. They come and shadow the guys at the shop and all of these things that we've already been doing for the past 4 years. So for me, it's just now getting us on Main Street to be able to show that and have the young ones have the opportunity to be exposed to a life that, like I said, exposure is just such a valuable currency, and give them an opportunity to be able to see professionalism in our industry at a very, very high level. And so, the plan is to continue to just duplicate the good things, continue to raise the team and raise the people in our business. These people are very much, they're passionate about what they do. They love the work. They love our company and what we've built together. I don't look at myself as just some owner. You know what I mean? I'm a grinder. I'm a worker, but I definitely am strategy and vision. And so I've got to be able to put all the pieces together. But you can always look at me and know that I'm going about this thing at 100 miles an hour, because that's what's important, right? And so being able to have those channels to spread into our team, into the next and upcoming youth, that gives us a chance to get gifted into the spaces as well. It's gonna be a hub, to be able to have opportunities for many different things in our framework already. And so I think that's a big part of things for us. And then eventually we'll go on and get into the next one. And I plan big and long, but I'm also very much in my detailed spaces. And I think the detailed spaces allow for such compounding effects that now gives us the option to be able to look up one day and decide on what is it that we want to do, but we can know that we've grown this thing and built it correctly. And that's just all I've really been focusing on.
This question just came to me while you're talking because I don't know if I'm the only person. A coach of mine told me to do this. Do you have days when you do just vision planning, just strategic planning for your business, or you're always like go, go, go?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think we always have to reverse. I personally reverse engineer.
Hmm.
So for me, it's absolutely Q1, Q2, in 60 days, right? 60 to 90 days kind of style for me. But the big vision is at the end of the year, we want to be able to have X, Y, and Z in position. So
Yeah.
to get to having that positioning at the end of the year, we have to reverse engineer and break that down into components that you can't eat the whole elephant in one bite. So for me, I know where our end goal is, but now all the small strategies in between, it's attacking that. It's really being very detailed in how we go about those things. Because I know if I can trust on me working on every day towards these core principles that are abstract from the big play at the end of the year, I'll either be very close or actually above what I thought I was going to do. And so that's kind of my way of going. It's like the meat and the point. There's no meat in the point. You're either like very close or you're behind over it. Like there's no, you know what I mean? It's very close or you're over it. I mean, for me, like it's like I now we meeting the point. Oh, meet the point. Like it's like damn, I could have did probably a little bit more. I should did X, Y, and Z. So I try to keep that part of that drive
Hmm.
almost away from the team and from things, because you want it to always be a composed an
Yeah.
environment. And as sporadic as we may can get sometimes, we have framework and how to achieve. And so I think we just kind of stay within the vision and stay within the scope. And it's been fun to build out our business. It'll be 9 years now. First 3 years was me still kind of going back and forth with, am I going to play NFL? Am I going to stay in the NFL, or am I going to transition and really absorb this life that I have now, and and pick up the shovel and dig the ground every day, and started by doing the cars myself and traveling and making connections. I mean, I've done everything in this business besides window tint.
He's done it from every single thing, and that is crucial. I think for a lot of us when we're just starting out, it's normal. For some, it may take 6 months. For some, it may take a year, 3 years, 4 years, where you're wearing all the hats. But at some point, you want to grow, and you will see person's success and be like, "I want to get to there." Of course, you can, and that should always be the aspiration to be. But just also remember that if you have to do the groundwork, you have to, and it makes you learn so much more about your business. And I think it adds so many different skills. I think I want to ask you too, like, what is one thing that you think people don't see about your journey? Or what would you like them to know? Like that one thing where, like, this thing is very, this is just, you don't see that maybe who I am today.
That's so funny. It's like I'm very like not a big. I'm not a loud person. Supposedly, my energy is when you're with me and we're hanging out. I know that. I love it. Right? It's like we're gonna be life of life together. Let's do this. But if you don't see me, it's like I'm just cruising in my wind. I think the thing is that I'm a pretty gentle person
Hmm.
for sure, no slouch.
Yeah.
I move with very much a lot of intent and grace, but I don't like to be played with, and I don't really play with people at all.
Yeah.
And so I'm very intentful about everything I have and everything I do, and I take care of things. If we're in relation, if we're in friendship, if we're in business, I
It's
like
good.
taking care of it. I like to
Yeah.
make it known that we're good. I think, that can maybe be an answer that, you know, people might see I'm just a business owner, but think I'm just this hairy, audacious, want to be successful, collect all the money and go off in the sunset. It's like, I'm from Nigeria, man. Come from like like I love life. I just enjoy the ability to be able to say, you know what, I'm gonna do this and I actually get it done.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
in the process of getting it done, you see the joy it brings to others around you because
Hmm.
what I'm doing is for a whole community around me.
That's your
So
legacy.
yeah, just be, I'm just a man on my mission.
I love it. Well, what would you say is like one advice you'd have to someone who is like, they're trying to either reinvent themselves or trying to make like a major shift in life or transition from one thing to the other? What would you say?
I think about what that transition is calling for. Why are you wanting to make a transition?
Yeah.
Because you never had passion for something? Is it because you don't feel your purpose? Is it because, man, I'm bored, I want to change it up? Right. So my answer would be very skewed because there's many reasons why someone may wants to go into a different season.
Yeah.
I had to go into a different season out of the fact that a door legit closed on me. Right. Some may not have a door closing. Maybe my doors, I could stay in there all day and be cool, but I just want something different. So I think it's almost always coming back to your whys. What's the whys? And that why will allow for you to internally reverse engineer your decision making. And of course, in the decision making, consult with the good Lord. Fish come from water, plants come from seed. We come from somewhere.
Yeah.
And believe me or not, I come from the Lord, I come from God. And He's the creator of everything that's around here. So if I'm gonna want to go into something that is
So
His root, I need to consult with who created this whole entire ecosystem. And
yeah.
that's not a fit for everybody. It's not the coolest answer for everybody, which is okay.
Hmm.
But genuinely, there's a bigger power to everything we are existingly doing. So how can I get as close to relationally understanding that?
Mm.
It's not in a religious understanding. I'm saying true, genuine relational understanding of the powers of this world that's moving around me.
It's
And that
bigger.
will allow for you to know where your position is in this entire ecosystem. Because multiple people like us out here. But
Trust it.
we just have to find our uniqueness to be able to become who we want to be.
Yeah. Because the thing is too, when we hear about advice and just to make that transition, um, we would have coaches or another mentor, or we seek other person's opinions. But as you said, that you should always go back to one opinion that truly matters. And as you said, consulting, like that's something I didn't used to do that, but maybe it's in the past year, the more I build my relationship with God,
Yeah,
I now I do a lot of consulting.
it's what it is.
Yeah, I do a
Right?
lot of consulting.
I mean, legit consult is that's what it is because it's like where your heart lies,
Hmm.
what you want to do, and it's hard for me to truly always feel as if I will get my answer from someone
Yeah.
to be able to now say that's what I'm going to do. Like it's really hard. That's actually really hard because it's not. you.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Listen,
not you.
it's not, yeah, yeah.
And you have to be able to find you. And people do it in many different ways, and go to a resort or go take a time off, go do some things. Don't do it and don't do something that's going to miscue your thought process to now get to you, which some do, right? But that's still very is rooted to that grounded identity to be able to find what that thing is. Because I think once you get into it, it's the pain, the hurt, the I'm going to give up, all those things that happen, like you can actually still go through it,
You
right?
need to go seek therapy. Go seek therapy. Go deal with your trauma. Okay.
Yes.
So, and it goes back to the G in your gifted. You gotta be grounded, but you also, you guys might be hearing us talking about it, and it sounds amazing, but just know, like, you have to put in real work to get to that point. And not even at the finish line, like, there's so much more to go, but you also have to be honest with yourself to be like, this is what I'm building. In order for me to build X, I have to be this version of me. In order to be this version of me, I got to deal with whatever thing or trauma that's holding me back, whether that's mentally, whatever that is. I got to go deal with that so I can be a better version of me for the next thing of how I want to grow my business or what legacy I want to build for my family. Everything plays a role.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's so crucial. You can start the business. I just want money, money, money. And that's okay. That's how I started. I was like, money, money, money. I'm an immigrant. I need to take care of my family. I need to be rich because I've never seen that. Yada, yada, yada. You get deeper in it, but you now see there's more to it. There's so much more, and you need to be a better individual. Oh, listen, I can keep going with this
Yeah,
conversation.
it's a real thing. Because I mean, what else is there, right? Like you have one life, right? And it has to all make sense all the way
Mhm.
around the board. And the lack of peace comes from trying to be who you're not and trying to be impersonating of something else and
Mhm.
pursue something else that your calling isn't aligned with, right? You just build too much drama for yourself.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's not the way forward. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It's like we don't want to do that to ourselves. We want to stay as aligned as possible. And
Mhm.
in certain seasons that are extremely slow because of the fact that you're being obedient to your alignment,
Yeah.
you're actually doing yourself justice at the end of the day.
Mhm.
You didn't overstep.
Yeah.
You didn't understep. You didn't make a irrational decision, right? You're making rational decisions, and you're moving at the speed of what the Creator is
Yes.
destined for you. And with
Yes.
that connection, you can bank on your execution to give you whatever success looks like to you.
And don't think that, not even just remember that your speed can be different. And I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we can get lost in that speed. It needs to be now, now, now. And then you're like, you're clear on whatever it is that your vision is and
Yeah,
what your goal is and whatever direction you want to go. But then you see this person over here doing X, and you're like, why am I not growing like this person? Oh, I need to get off track and be doing exactly what the other person is doing. Now you have to start over. Stay in your lane.
stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane, man. And as you said, like, stick to, if you're clear on what your purpose is and you have a plan and you are executing to your best and to your fullest potential, stay on path, man.
Stay on path. You got to just keep going down that path. Just stay on path. It's against the grain. It feels against the grain. It looks against the grain. I mean,
Mhm.
man, Alicia, I was playing in the NFL and I started washing cars. That's what these cats were saying. You're washing cars, right? Like, okay, but you have no idea what the purpose is behind the fact that I have to put my hand in this bucket of water and wash your dirty car. You just have no idea what that purpose is behind it. And so the minute people start looking at what others are thinking and what you're believing about even about you, the minute you're gonna lose yourself.
Mhm.
Do not, do
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
let what people look at what you do or what you think and how they think affect what you have going on, because that purpose is so supersized inside of you that if you can just stick to that and understand that as slow as the race may feel or as fast as it may go, you never lost your ground.
Listen. Listen. It's so funny because I like having conversations like these because the more I used to love having, I used to do a podcast before this and it was all real estate stuff, private money, raising capital, all those stuff. But the more I get in tune with myself and the more I grow, I realize it's more to it. It's so much more to it. So I'm like, yeah, this is why legacy talks exist. So I usually love doing this segment. We call it the legacy round. It's kind of like a rapid fire, like the first thing that comes to your mind. Really, really quick answers, first instincts. So the first thing I would say, what's one principle you will never compromise on?
I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ.
The biggest risk that paid off.
Just really telling football that that was it and having to go ahead and go down this journey of entrepreneurism.
Okay. I would say a mistake that shaped you.
Ooh, a mistake that shaped me.
Hmm.
My goodness. I mean, well, even if it came with just not doing enough due diligence, honestly, in acquiring a property first. I acquired my first, even my first home. It was like I've been very much, I got it. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do what I need to do to learn. And you might need to seek some counsel sometimes too, outside of the counsel that you go to that I just spoke on. You do need to go out and speak to certain things. You do need to seek knowledge and some different informations. And so I think, just making some, actual decisions that it just took longer to get around the corner, right? We still got there. We still bought it. We still got everything that we wanted to do. But you can avoid some traps by speaking to the right people and speaking to
I
us.
love that. One word, what legacy are you building?
Yeah. I think of course it's it's one of those things, man, that it's bigger than what I'm just doing, right? And how do I explain it? It's like obviously I want to be able to have my own family one day, right? I want to be able to have, uh, you know, identity of presence that I was exactly who I dreamt myself to be and worked myself to be, right? In all ways, in all phases, and by doing that, there's so many components of that person that is inspiring other leaders, that's inspiring and being there for people that are less fortunate, that's inspiring and being there for my spouse and my family to give them the knowledge and understanding that they can become everything that they ever desire to be. And importantly, giving them the substance that this life is not easy, but being able to have resilience and understanding the quest that's inside of you, not what somebody else tells you to become, not what the society tells you to hold on to, but what that identity inside of you gave you, you can manifest and you can put it forward. So for me, I think it's just being able to duplicate a lot of the goodness that I've been blessed with and that I've worked myself into. How can I duplicate that goodness? And how can I actually make sure that that stays and that sticks in my lineage, in my community, in my business? And so, yeah, I think that's really the answer is duplicating the great things and making people aware of the not so good things. So, therefore, they can enhance their things to become the best that they can be.
I love that. That was amazing. So I feel like you're able to just come on and just share your journey, share your perspective on so many different things that you're doing, sharing how what is it that you're building and the legacy that you're trying to leave behind as well, because that is crucial. And I know you have a long way to go. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah.
how can persons find you? How can they connect with you? How can they learn more about you and your business and your programs and everything that you're doing?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think obviously the first simple entryway would be through TFATS Auto Spa, TFATS Auto Spa, one word.com. I am on Instagram now. I've got my Instagram back. Our business is on Instagram. I brought Instagram back. I went on like a 3.5 year hiatus of like not even having my own personal Instagram. So my personal Instagram is TFAT96 if people want to connect there. But honestly, by email, of course, you can get through by reaching out to me, Kalisha, and things like that. Don't share with everyone, but we can listen. It's love with me, man. If whatever I can do to be there for anyone, support anyone, be a part of your organization, support your organization. I genuinely mean that. Like, this thing is bigger, man. One tree doesn't grow a forest, and if I believe I'm strong enough to be able to hold a couple things, so let's push the move. Let's push the buttons. Let me know, how can we connect?
Well, no, thank you for being here. And I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Let us know
Yeah,
in the comments as well. Give us a thumbs up. What do you think about it? What questions do you have?
absolutely.
I think definitely we'll be bringing you back because there's so much more that we can talk about. And I know that you're going to keep growing. So definitely want to be a part of that journey and hear more about how much you have grown this business and building your legacy. But until next time, thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you, Kalisha.